Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of StarCraft, where I take you through the missions and how to get the achievements. Today's mission is Hand of Darkness, and the achievements for this mission are Hand of Darkness, complete the mission. Shattered Command, destroy 2 command centers. Power Underwhelming, destroy 3 hybrid holding cells before the hybrid are released. This mission is pretty simple. Basically, you will need some beater units, so aberrations or abominations are a pretty much must in this mission. Zerglings are also really effective in this mission, because basically what will happen is every once in a while the hybrid will basically try to raise a unit up to choke it out, and if you have a bunch of Zerglings, it's more than likely going to target one of them instead of something like your abomination or one of your more important units. And as far as destroying the command centers, I do believe there's one down towards the bottom left of the map, and then the other one's up towards not quite the top right, but just before the top right of the map. You'll see it when I get there. And there are 2 possible expansions in this mission. One is easy to get to, but the other one does have a main facility base on it. And I wind up taking the other one out just because I was trying to find the other command centers. Also, you will be getting 2 brutalisks in this mission, and those help out a lot when dealing with the hybrid, because they are a very tanky unit. As far as unit composition goes, I'd go with basically tank units like your abominations, brutalisks, and stuff like that. And I'd go with your swarm queens because they act as pseudo healers, so your tanks will last longer. And then I'd also use roaches because depending on which strain you went, if you went with the virulent strain, you have the ability to slow your enemies' attacks and stuff like that, so that works out really good in your favor. And Zerglings, because it's good to have that dispersal of damage, because the less damage your queens and your abominations are taking, the less damage the queens have to heal. Also, you will be getting attacked frequently, so do put up a 5 spine crawler defense. You don't have to worry too much about flying units, because I don't think they use them indoors, so. And as far as beating a hybrid, to basically destroying a hybrid before it is released, that's pretty simple. There are several of them throughout this mission. Some of them are fairly guarded, some of them aren't. So it's kind of easy if you know which ones are good to grab. Like this one is pretty well guarded, and it comes out, I believe, at the 6 or the 4 minute mark. I cannot remember, but it comes out pretty early, so you probably won't be able to snag this one down here in the bottom left. The one on the top left, though, it takes a very long time for it to emerge, so grabbing it's not too hard. The one on the bottom right, usually by the time you've snagged the one in the top left, it will pop the bottom right one after you've destroyed that one. The other ones, there's another one just above the bottom right that is pretty easy to get. That one is pretty easy. There's one across the hall from that one. That one's not too easy to get because it has a whole base basically barricading it in, so I'd save that one for last. And the one, if you go straight down that hallway from those 2, there will be a little area with 2 hybrids in it. That one is pretty simple to get to. There isn't a lot of guards there, and so basically after you've taken out the one on the right, just go ahead and move down the hallway to take those 2 out. Unfortunately, breaking their case, I believe, only counts as breaking one hybrid out of its facility. So just bear that in mind when you're trying to take these things out. Let's see, up here there should be, yeah, this is where I'm going to take out the first hybrid before it gets out of its cell. Or at least try to. As you can see, the defenses aren't too overwhelming, so basically just put a lot of Zerglings out there and they'll be too busy dealing with Zerglings, and your big units can move in and take them out. Also, your units won't initially start attacking the containers, so you will have to actually physically make your units start attacking those containers. And as you can see, the hybrids aren't too hard to deal with, but they do a lot of AoE damage, so it is something that you do have to have your queens for, or else you'll just be basically supplanting your army over and over and over again, which, let me tell you, not fun and not cheap. Even though you're dealing with Zerg. And here we have the Brutalisk. Probably one of the funner Zerg units. I'm just sad you don't actually get to make this unit in multiplayer or campaign. You do, however, there is a commander in co-op that can basically morph his units into the Brutalisks and Leviathans, but it's only in co-op missions, so it's like, that's kind of cool, but you know, I'd kind of want to see a little bit of that in normal StarCraft, especially in the, like, multiplayer, because there are several, like, the problem with the Zerg is they do not have an air presence, and the Leviathan is just a really, really, really strong air unit, so it makes it so much easier to help deal with air superiority when you have a couple of Leviathans running around. Now, they probably would have to do a little bit of balancing on those units because they are very, very tanky. They basically can take up a lot of damage while dealing a lot of damage. So they probably have to do a few minor balancing acts on those if they were going to include them in the basic multiplayer modes. Here's the first expanse you can move out to. And again, you will need to set up a defense at this base because it will be attacked as well. Usually. I'm all trying to find... Alright, there's command centers in here. Where are they? And right now I'm moving out to the second expanse area, and basically it is well defended, so you will need a good sized force to deal with it. There will be heavy AoE damage going on in here, so there's the command center. And again, you can see where I was like, this can be used as an expanse, but it is well fortified, so use at your own peril, I guess. Always, when destroying little bases like this, make sure you destroy all the buildings, because basically any building you leave standing is a building that can produce units, and a building that produces units is a building that can harass you. Those are never fun, because you may be out of position, your army may be across the map, and you may have to pull everything back. So that's also a very well-used strategy by Terrans in a lot of basically multiplayer matches, where they'll build a barracks and they'll move it off away from their actual like force and stuff like that, and then basically they'll be producing units over at like one of the corners of the map, and then this way when basically the force, your enemy force, comes in and tries to basically attack the base, they can pincer attack your force with their army at home and the army they've been producing over in the other side of the map. And anybody that knows games and strategy, a pincer attack is always your most effective attack. Well, one of your most effective attacks. There's surround, pincer, blitzkrieg. It's just a bunch of different ways to attack things that ironically actually work in games like this. So now, I'm not saying if you played this game you'd be able to go out and do a, field marshal job or something like that, but I'm saying you would have a semi-decent experience with it in games and strategy. And here we're gonna get the second Brutalisk. Again, I want to be able to make these tanky bastards. Because not only are they a tanky ground unit, but they can attack both ground and air units, so... Single solitary queen. Heal. Heal. Yeah, this is the hallway I was talking about. Basically, as you come down this hallway, there'll be an area off to the right and an area off to the left. The one on the... and they both have a hybrid in them. The area off to the right is less defended because it doesn't go as deep from this hallway. The area off to the left, however, has an entire, basically, encampment in there, so it's harder to deal with when you go that way. Right now I'm trying to get rid of all the buildings, so this way when I break open this hybrid, I don't have to deal with more than just the hybrid. Also be aware that whenever he pops down, he will use psionic storms, he will use basic AoE knockback, and he will try to basically choke out some units, so... Alright, now I'm gonna hug the wall and move down towards the end of this hallway, which is not in here. I was just seeing if there's anything I could play with. It's like, can I beat this up? Nope. Oh, well. It's amazing what all you can beat up in this game, so. And as you can see, it does have a little bit of defense down here, but it's not very much. And also the timer on this one over here to basically release this hybrid, these hybrids, basically doesn't show up until like I think the 15-20 minute mark. So it's one of the safer bets in releasing a hybrid. But again, unfortunately, it only counts as one when releasing the hybrid. And one of the more annoying things was I was having internet connection problems on this mission, and like normal. And basically, it did the same thing where it didn't pop the achievements. I'll have to make a video later on that shows I did in fact get all these achievements. It's just it doesn't want to show them because my internet sucks. And when your internet sucks, basically Battle.net goes, you might be cheating, so we're not going to let you have achievements. And it's like, but. This is where you're going to find your second command center. And again, you can see how tanky the Brutalisks are, so that's why you need a lot of queens to keep these guys alive. Yeah, your units will get harassed as they're walking by the left part of that hallway. Don't worry too much about it. They won't be able to kill most of your units. It'll be able to do a lot of damage to them, but your units will be able to survive long enough to get to your main force. Or, if you're good at macro, you can just have your units steer clear of that hallway altogether. Me, on the other hand, I'm not very good at macro, so I F2 a lot. Yeah, I would suggest taking one of those 2 expansions, just so this way you can have a bigger army force, because right now I'm running low on army supply because I don't have that many basic troops that I can produce because I only have 1 hatchery I'm working off of. Alright, there's that second one. And we've got the 3 basic hybrid chambers before they hatched, or destroyed the chambers before the hybrid awoke, so we're good to go on that. Now all we gotta do is clean up this last hybrid, which, on this one, basically build your force up until he pops, unless you haven't got your 3 hybrid yet, which you should have them by now, but just in case you don't, you can go ahead and move in, depending on your army size. But if you have your 3 hybrid, go ahead and mass over here in this corner, let your army heal up, and then keep building. And then basically wait until Neru releases this last hybrid, and then go ahead and move in. Man, more I play games like StarCraft and stuff like this, I wish you could upgrade, because I play Heroes of the Storm as well, I wish you could upgrade the basic creep units, which are the little soldiers that march across the lanes. I wish you could upgrade those after like so many points or something like that, depending on the hero you're using. I know certain ones can do something like that, like Asmodan, he can turn certain creeps into basic demons and have them fight. I do believe that Abathur can transform one of the minions into a basically horrid abomination, but that's one of his ultimates. And then I think Zil, the necromancer, whenever a minion dies near him, it's resurrected as a skeleton, so, well, as a zombie, so. But I just want, like, while you're playing that, to basically be able to go back to your main shrine and be like, here's a couple of crystals or something, give me these kind of creeps for this lane or something, you know? upgradable creeps. That's what I want. I want a lot of things, don't I? I'm unreasonable. Give me. Well, here we go with the last one. And he's just storming the crap out of it. Multiplying, and there we go. Yeah, they do sort of an after image, so this way it protects themselves. Well, guys, this has been Hand of Darkness and how to get the achievements. If you like what you saw, give me a like, a comment, and share. If you didn't, give me a dislike and a negative comment. I'm okay with that, too. If y'all want to hear more about me or what I do, go check me out on Facebook, Anthony Sewell. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.